Hey, Congressman Ivan, this is David Richardson. I'm making this presentation in a video form, and I can also send it in a privacy form, but I've sent you many privacy forms in regards to most of the information that you're going to see in this video. But I put at the top of this the my name of my company now for some years, since 1984, and what I do now as an WTA business building advocate. I won't go into either one of those. This is just information that I use to show persons who I am and give them my short bio and information about myself. As I am a student from the University of Arkansas, and you see the time that I went through that process and made money at that time, my plan B, after putting God as my plan A. All of my accomplishments under the educational information that I have done and the things that I have accomplished in my lifetime is also being presented down in the red A through E and F as well, to give it a background of what I've done and things that I have accomplished in that process. So I'm actually talking about A through G. And I'm going to introduce other things to you now for myself in this process. And I hope that this information that I'm presenting to you in this style will be used for what it's actually meant for, to seek your assistance to overcome some of the obstacles that we're going to show in this process. On the right side of one position, completed a complete my MBA in accounting and my semester hours that I had in CPA review, and completing all of the federal government's requirements for classes that I took in accounting, budgeting, and other subjects in order to get a promotion for what I was told I would get. But then when come time to get it, things didn't come out or work out the way of the discussions that I had had with the government. Because of the things that I've done, I am an accountant, and I've been in the position of showing persons assistance with their income tax since 1967. And then at that time, and when I really got started in having a pretty successful opportunity to help people, I then ran upon this process of where the government agency that I was working for, which is the U.S. Department of Labor, and being an accountant, I had to submit information under the Department of Treasury, which was Internal Revenue, and that's when my problem started. I ran into some persons who were using a check cashing scheme in the government that cash the checks and then turn around and make the checks out payable to organizations under 501c3 and use them as tax write-off. I disclosed that information to my supervisor at the Department of Labor, and then I found that I understood the word whistleblower. What I was doing, I was just trying to help stop some of the persons that I knew that was doing things that I didn't think was right. And I ran into the Department of Labor and the IRS fraudulent actions that they took against me by demoting me from all this information that you see in this process. So make sure that you study these data without me having to read them to you. But this is all a part of the Privacy Act form that I have already submitted, revised it, and now I'm resubmitting it to you for your assistance in helping me to get back the things that has been taken from my family and I. So this is and I'm not going to go into depth details about it, with the exception of this is a letter that you received in trying to help me with this process in August the 4th, 2023. So prior to that time, I had been working, trying to bring closure to this matter. But in August of 2023, you got a prevaricated letter in response to a letter that you sent out on May 3rd of 2023 on my behalf, only to get the prevarications that came about as a result of answering your letter. So it is now I'm responding to your letter and the response that you got in your letter. So I'm going to move on, and without taking up too much time, this is a video and it's just detail. So this is J through P. I'm not going to read it all because you can do that And what I'm trying to show you in this process is these are data that I hope that you can get answers for, that I have been able to get myself using the individual process that I've been using. But I would like for using your congressional assistance in this matter. And if there's any other congressional persons that I can get, I'm almost sure with my nationwide operation of my business, I'm also have offices in those areas where other congressmen are located, and specifically those in the state of Maryland, and there's quite a few in the state of Maryland and all the surrounding states. Now, without any further ado, I'm going to keep on with this because I don't want to take up too much time. This is Q through X. These are questions that I would like to get answered from both the Department of Labor and the Internal Revenue Department of Justice in trying to bring closure to this matter. And if you just get all these questions answered and then get me the material, then I will take it from there. This started out in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. I'll put that information here for your understanding also. The trial, it was a trial, but I'll give you that information because it wasn't favorable, and the reason for that I've tried to explain in the process and these data that I'm submitting to you now. Now, here is the information that I was told prior in 2023 in regards to my request to try to get an understanding. And I got this letter 3176C. I understood what they were saying, but the information that they were providing in it was not true statements. So I then submitted 1040X for that year to try and get the information for the prior years, 201, 202, and 204. And that has not bring to anything closure for that. But I did put in this information, these data here for you, which is the actual 1040X that I submitted in 2024 for those years, and trying to get back to total refunds and interest penalties due on that. And I hope for you to get understanding as to what I'm doing and why I'm sending this way. I only have a couple more things to show, and these are data to show you that for your office, to show you that the privacy release form has already been submitted, and I can submit the original copy if there's a need to do so, and I will be glad to do that as soon as you request it if it's something that I need to do. Now, in conclusion of these data, I'm closing out now just to show you this is your information in cases for me requesting your help, your assistance in this matter as a privacy form. And now this is the last one I'm going to show you. These are the data which were the same thing I started out with, only to show you that this is real, and I hope and pray that closure can be brought to these matters as soon as you can help me to do that. I appreciate everything that you're doing in this county and this state of Maryland. You are the leader among leaders, and I appreciate you and your entire family, and your wife included, because she's one of the leaders that I follow quite closely in this county and what's going on in our county. Thank you again for letting me submit this to you. This is David Richardson. Be blessed. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.